The hunter's target, the transport ship Nightfall, drifted silently through the void, its black hull absorbing the distant starlight like a predator stalking its prey. Captain Alex Morrison stood before the mission briefing hologram, his weathered face illuminated by the cold blue glow. 20 years of military service had carved lines around his steel-gray eyes, each one a testament to lives taken in the name of Earth's expansion. Target designation, Dr. Chen Valdris. The hologram flickered, displaying the image of an alien woman with striking purple skin that seemed to shimmer with an inner luminescence. Species, Zephyrian age, approximately 32. Earth year's location, Research Station Omega on Kepler-7's third moon. Alex studied the image intently. His handler, Commander Sarah Renna, paced behind him with military precision, her boots clicking against the metal deck plates. "She's developing biological weapons." Sarah's voice carried the familiar edge of authority. "Weapons specifically designed to target human DNA. The Council has declared her an imminent threat to our species." "What's her background?" Alex asked, though part of him wondered why he was asking. Usually, he didn't care about the target's stories. A mission was a mission. Emotions were a luxury he couldn't afford. "Former xenobiologist from the Zephyrian Academy," Sarah replied, pulling up additional data. "Lost her family when we established the mining colonies on Zephyr Prime. Been working in isolation ever since intelligence suggests she's close to a breakthrough that could wipe out entire human settlements." The briefing continued for another hour. Covering extraction points, security protocols, and contingency plans, Alex absorbed every detail, with the methodical precision that had made him Earth military's most effective operative. Yet something about this mission felt different. Perhaps it was the way Dr. Chen's eyes seemed to hold a depth of sadness even in the static hologram. Or maybe it was the growing weight of all the lives he'd taken 3 days later. Alex found himself approaching Research Station Omega through the asteroid field surrounding Kepler-7's moon. The station was a marvel of Zephyrian engineering. Organic curves that seemed to grow from the moon's surface itself, pulsing with bioluminescent conduits that channeled energy. Throughout the structure, it was beautiful in a way that human architecture never achieved. His stealth suit rendered him nearly invisible as he breached the outer hull. Through a maintenance airlock, the interior corridors were dimly lit by the same gentle bioluminescence. Creating an almost dreamlike atmosphere, Alex moved through the station like a shadow, his enhanced sensors mapping every room, every corridor, every potential escape route. The research laboratory was located in the station's heart, protected by multiple security barriers that Alex bypassed with practiced ease. As he approached the final door, his pulse quickened, not from adrenaline, but from something he couldn't quite identify. Through the transparent aluminum window, he could see her. Dr. Chen Valdris was more striking in person than any hologram could convey. Her purple skin held an ethereal quality, seeming to shift between deeper and lighter shades as she moved beneath the laboratory lights. She was tall and graceful, with an elegant neck and delicate features that spoke of both intelligence and strength. Her dark hair was pulled back in a practical style, but a few strands had escaped to frame her face. She was alone, working intently at a biosynthesis station. Her movements were fluid and precise as she manipulated complex molecular structures on the holographic display. There was no fear in her posture, no awareness of the danger that had infiltrated her sanctuary. She seemed completely absorbed in her work. Driven by a purpose that Alex couldn't yet understand, Alex slipped into the laboratory. His weapon drawn but not yet aimed, standard protocol dictated a clean kill, quick, efficient, untraceable. But as he watched her work, something made him hesitate. The way she handled the delicate instruments spoke of someone trying to create, not destroy. The gentle expression on her face seemed at odds with someone developing biological weapons. "I know you're there," Dr. Chen said softly without turning around. Her voice carried a melodious quality that seemed to resonate in the air itself. "You're the one they sent to kill me, aren't you?" Alex's grip tightened on his weapon, but he didn't raise it. "Turn around slowly," he commanded. His voice steady despite the unexpected turn of events. Dr. Chen complied. turning to face him with calm dignity. Up close, Alex could see that her eyes were a deep violet color, filled with an intelligence and compassion that struck him like a physical blow. She was beautiful, yes, but more than that, she radiated a serenity that seemed to calm the storm of conflict within his own soul. "Captain Alex Morrison," she said, and somehow hearing his name from her lips made it sound different. "More human, I've been expecting you. You know who I am?" Alex kept his weapon ready, though every instinct told him this woman posed no threat. "I know many things," Dr. Chen replied, her gaze never leaving his eyes. "I know you've killed 47 beings in service to your government. I know you lost your parents in the Titan War when you were 12. I know you've never questioned an order until now." The words hit Alex like hammer blows. How could she possibly know such details about his life? More disturbing was the accuracy of her final statement. He was questioning this order, questioning everything for the first time in his career. "What are you?" he asked, his weapon wavering slightly. "Someone trying to save both our species," Dr. Chen answered. Taking a small step closer, "Someone who has seen what's coming if we continue on this path of mutual destruction. The weapon you think I'm developing. It's not a weapon at all. It's a cure." Forbidden discoveries, Alex kept his weapon trained on Dr. Chen, but his finger had moved away from the trigger. Something in her voice, in the way she carried herself, suggested truth rather than deception. "A cure for what?" "For the genetic plague that your military has been secretly developing," Dr. Chen replied, moving slowly toward a wall display. "May I show you something? I promise you'll want to see this." Every protocol Alex had ever learned screamed against lowering his guard. But he found himself nodding. Dr. Chen activated the display, and suddenly the laboratory was filled with holographic data streams, genetic sequences, and biological models that painted a horrifying picture. 3 years ago, your Earth military began developing what they called Project Cleansing, Dr. Chen explained, her purple fingers dancing through the data with practiced expertise. "A biological agent designed to target non-human DNA. They thought they could create the perfect weapon, something that would eliminate alien threats while leaving humans untouched." Alex studied the data, his enhanced military implants translating the complex genetic information. What he saw made his blood run cold. "They're planning genocide." "Worse than that," Dr. Chen continued, her voice heavy with sorrow. "The targeting system is flawed in 6 months, maybe less. The agent will mutate. It will begin attacking human DNA as well. Both our species will face extinction." The implications crashed over Alex like a tidal wave. Everything he'd believed about his mission, about his service, about the righteousness of Earth's cause began to crumble. "Why should I believe you?" Dr. Chen moved closer, close enough that he could smell her scent, something like flowers blooming in an alien garden. "Because 3 weeks ago, your own people classified you as expendable. This mission isn't just about eliminating me, Captain, it's about eliminating the only witness who could expose Project Cleansing." She gestured to another display, and Alex's personnel file appeared, marked with a red designation he'd never seen before: "Termination recommended." The file read, "Subject has outlived. Operational usefulness. Psychological evaluation suggests potential resistance to morally ambiguous orders." "They're planning to kill me too," Alex whispered, the realization hitting him like a physical blow. "The moment you report my death, a support team will arrive to debrief you," Dr. Chen confirmed. "You'll never leave this station alive. They've already prepared your memorial service. Captain, you died a hero in the line of duty." Alex lowered his weapon completely, his mind reeling 20 years of loyal service. And this was how it ended. Betrayed by the very people he'd sworn to protect. "Why are you telling me this? Why didn't you just run?" "Because running won't save anyone," Dr. Chen replied, her violet eyes meeting his with startling intensity. "The cure I've developed requires both human and Zephyrian genetic material to synthesize properly. I need someone from your species to help me complete it, and—" She paused, her voice growing softer. "Because I've seen what you could become if you chose a different path." "What do you mean?" Dr. Chen moved to another workstation, her graceful movements hypnotic in the laboratory's gentle lighting. My people have certain abilities that yours don't. I can perceive potential futures. Probability streams branching out from key decision points. In most timelines, you kill me tonight and die tomorrow. But in a precious few, we work together and save both our species. Alex found himself drawn closer to her, fascinated despite himself and what happens to us in those timelines. Dr. Chen's purple skin seemed to flush a deeper shade, a blush that somehow translated across species lines. We discover things about each other, things that neither of our governments would approve of. The air between them seemed to crackle with electricity. Alex realized he was standing much closer to her now, close enough to see the intricate patterns in her skin, like constellations painted in amethyst. "Show me the cure," he said, his voice rougher than intended for the next 2 hours. Dr. Chen walked Alex through her research. Her work was brilliant, a perfect fusion of human medical technology and Zephyrian biological manipulation. The cure would not only neutralize Project Cleansing, but would actually strengthen the immune systems of both species, creating a symbiotic relationship instead of mutual destruction. "It's incredible," Alex admitted, studying the molecular structures she'd created. "How long have you been working on this?" "Since I lost my family," Dr. Chen replied quietly. "They were researchers too, studying human biology to find ways our species could coexist peacefully. When your military established the mining colonies on Zephyr Prime, they were caught in the crossfire." Alex felt a stab of guilt. He'd participated in that campaign, had followed orders without question as entire communities were displaced. "I'm sorry," he said, and meant it more than he'd ever meant anything. "You didn't know," Dr. Chen replied, her hand briefly touching his arm. The contact sent an electric shock through his entire body. "That's what makes this so tragic. Good people on both sides, following orders that serve only the powerful few who profit from conflict." They worked together as the station's day cycle progressed. Alex's military-enhanced intellect proving surprisingly useful in refining the cure's delivery system. As they labored side by side, he found himself stealing glances at Dr. Chen, admiring the way her purple skin seemed to glow when she was excited about a breakthrough, the melodious sound of her laugh when he made an awkward joke, the gentle way she corrected his pronunciation of Zephyrian scientific terms. "You're not what I expected," Alex admitted during a brief break. They were sitting close together, sharing a meal of Zephyrian nutrition pods that tasted surprisingly good. "What did you expect?" Dr. Chen asked, her violet eyes curious. "A monster," Alex replied honestly. "Someone cold, calculating, alien in ways I couldn't understand. Instead, I find someone who's dedicated her life to saving people, even people who want her dead." Dr. Chen was quiet for a moment, then said softly, "We're not so different. Your species and mine, we both love, we both grieve. We both hope for something better than the wars our leaders keep starting." Their eyes met across the small table, and Alex felt something shift in his chest, something he'd thought died long ago in the cold vacuum of military service hope. Perhaps, or something even more dangerous, the beginning of love. Hearts in conflict. The station's artificial night cycle had begun, bathing the laboratory in softer, more intimate lighting. Alex and Dr. Chen had been working for 12 hours straight, their initial wariness slowly dissolving into something that felt like partnership, trust, and, if Alex was honest with himself, attraction that defied every regulation and social barrier between their species. "We're close," Dr. Chen said, her voice showing the strain of their long work session. "Another few hours and the synthesis should be complete." Alex nodded, but found himself watching her more than the data streams, the way she moved with unconscious grace, how her purple skin seemed to shift from lavender to deep violet depending on her emotions, the musical quality of her voice when she was excited about a breakthrough. Everything about her fascinated him in ways he'd never experienced before. "Alex," Dr. Chen said softly, and he realized she'd caught him staring. "I'm sorry," he started to say, but she shook her head. "Don't apologize," she replied, moving closer to him. "I've been watching you too." They were standing very close now, close enough that Alex could feel the warmth radiating from her skin, could see the intricate patterns that covered her neck and arms like living tattoos. "This is dangerous," he whispered. "Everything worthwhile is dangerous," Dr. Chen replied, her violet eyes searching his face. "In all the probability streams I've seen, the ones where we succeed, we don't just work together. Alex, we trust each other completely. And what does that mean?" Instead of answering, Dr. Chen reached up and gently touched his cheek. Her skin was warm and impossibly soft, with a slight luminescence that seemed to respond to her emotions. "It means we stop pretending we're just allies in a mission and acknowledge what we both feel." Alex's breath caught in his throat. Every military protocol screamed against this moment. But for once in his life, he didn't care about protocols. He covered her hand with his own, marveling at how perfectly they fit together despite their different origins. "I don't know how this is possible," he admitted. "A few hours ago, I was here to kill you now. Now you're here to save everyone," Dr. Chen finished, "including yourself." The kiss happened as naturally as breathing. Alex lowered his head as Dr. Chen rose on her toes, their lips meeting in a connection that seemed to bridge not just the space between them, but the vast gulf between their species. Her lips were soft and warm, tasting faintly of the alien fruits she'd shared with him earlier when they broke apart. Alex felt as though his entire world had shifted. "This is insane," he breathed. "Sanity is overrated," Dr. Chen replied with a smile that made her entire face luminous. "Besides, I told you I could see probability streams in every timeline where we save both our species. This happens." "What else happens?" Alex asked, his hand still resting on her waist. Dr. Chen's purple skin flushed deeper. "Many things that would probably violate both sets of our cultural taboos. Despite everything, the danger, the mission, the weight of two species' survival," Alex laughed, a real laugh. The first one he'd felt in years. "You know, I never thought I'd die for love. I always assumed it would be for duty." "You're not going to die," Dr. Chen said fiercely, her hands gripping his shirt. "I won't let that happen. We're going to finish this cure. Expose Project Cleansing and build something better than this cycle of hatred." They returned to their work, but everything had changed. The air between them hummed with new energy, and Alex found himself more motivated than he'd ever been in his military career. They weren't just mixing chemicals and calibrating genetic sequences. They were crafting hope itself. "There," Dr. Chen announced as the first samples of the completed cure materialized in the biosynthesizer. "It's done. This formula will neutralize Project Cleansing and provide immunity to both species." Alex studied the glowing vials with awe. "How do we distribute it?" "The atmospheric processors on both Earth and Zephyr Prime," Dr. Chen explained. "A few vials released into each system would spread the cure globally within weeks. But first, we need to get word to the resistance movements on both worlds." "Resistance movements?" Dr. Chen nodded. "Not everyone supports this war, Alex. There are humans and Zephyrians working together in secret. Trying to prevent the genocide Admiral Cooper Kai of your own Navy has been feeding information to our scientists for months." Alex recognized the name. Cooper had been his commanding officer early in his career. A man known for his integrity and tactical brilliance. "Cooper's part of this?" "He's the one who helped me access the Project Cleansing data," Dr. Chen confirmed. "He couldn't act directly without exposing the entire network. But he's been preparing for this moment, as if summoned by their conversation. The laboratory's communication system activated a coded signal that Alex recognized as a deep space transmission appeared on the display. "That's one of ours," Alex said, moving to decrypt the message. The hologram of Admiral Cooper Kai materialized, his weathered face grave with concern. "Dr. Chen, Captain Morrison, if you're both alive and receiving this, then perhaps there's still hope." Alex started. "He knows I'm here." "I've been tracking Earth military communications," Cooper continued. "Alex, Your termination order came through 6 hours ago. Sarah Renna is en route to your position with a full strike team. They'll be there within the hour. Dr. Chen's face went pale. We need to evacuate. No, Cooper's message continued. You need to fight the cure Dr. Chen has developed. It's our only chance. But it won't matter if Project Cleansing launches tomorrow as scheduled. You have to stop it at the source. The transmission ended, leaving Alex and Dr. Chen staring at each other in the suddenly oppressive silence. Tomorrow? Alex whispered. Dr. Chen was already pulling up classified files, her fingers flying over the controls. He's right, she said, her voice tight with fear. The deployment schedule shows a coordinated release in 18 hours, every major population center on both worlds. Alex felt the weight of impossible responsibility settling on his shoulders. What do we do? Dr. Chen turned to face him, her violet eyes blazing with determination and something deeper. Love. Trust. Absolute faith in their bond. We do what lovers do. Alex, we save each other. And in saving each other, we save everyone. The choice of love. The warning sirens began wailing just as Alex and Dr. Chen finished securing the cure samples. Through the station's transparent viewing ports, they could see the approaching Earth military vessels, sleek predators cutting through space with lethal precision. 3 ships, Alex observed, his military training automatically assessing the threat, full assault configuration. Sarah's not taking any chances. Dr. Chen moved to the laboratory's central console, her purple fingers dancing across biometric locks that Alex hadn't even noticed. This station has defenses, but they won't hold long against that kind of firepower. We need to get you out of here, Alex said, his mind already working through escape scenarios. No, Dr. Chen replied firmly. We need to get the cure to Admiral Cooper's. People, both of us together. Alex turned to stare at her. Dr. Chen. Isabel, she interrupted. My name is Isabel, and if we're going to die together, I want you to know my real name. The intimacy of the moment struck Alex like a physical blow. In his 20 years of military service, he'd never learned the first names of most of his targets. Now he was learning the name of a woman he loved. The realization hit him with startling clarity. Isabel, he repeated, loving the way her name felt on his lips. That's beautiful. It means devoted to God in old Earth languages, Isabel said with a small smile. My parents chose it when they began studying human culture. They believed our species shared more than we realized. The station shuddered as the first probe missiles impacted the outer hull. Emergency lights bathed the laboratory and urgent red time was running out. The escape pods, Alex said, but Isabel shook her head. They'll track any pod launch. We need another way. She led him to what appeared to be a blank wall, but at her touch, a hidden panel slid away to reveal a small chamber filled with crystalline formations. Zephyrian transport technology, she explained. It can phase shift us directly to Cooper's ship. But what? It requires complete biological synchronization between users, Isabel said, her purple skin flushing deeper. Our DNA, our heartbeats, our neural patterns. Everything has to be perfectly aligned. Alex understood immediately. You're talking about a level of intimacy that's unprecedented between our species, Isabel confirmed. Alex, what I'm suggesting, it's not just physical, it's emotional, psychological, spiritual. If we do this, we'll be connected in ways that neither of our cultures have words for. The station shuddered again, more violently this time through the communication system. They could hear Sarah's voice broadcasting surrender demands, Dr. Chen. This is Commander Sarah Renna of the Earth Military. You are surrounded and outgunned. Surrender yourself and Captain Morrison will be granted a quick death. Alex looked at Isabel. This extraordinary woman who had already transformed his understanding of everything he thought he knew about love, duty, and hope. Are you certain about this? I've never been more certain of anything, Isabel replied, moving closer to him. In all the probability streams I've seen, this is our only path to success. But more than that, it's what I want. Alex, I want to be connected to you in every way possible. The kiss was different this time. Deeper and more urgent, Alex could feel something changing in his body, in his mind. As their lips met, it was as if Isabel's unique biology was awakening dormant potentials in his own genetic code. "I love you," he whispered against her lips, the words coming without conscious thought. "I love you too," Isabel replied, her violet eyes bright with tears and joy, more than I ever thought possible. They moved into the transport chamber, the crystalline formations beginning to glow as they sensed the presence of two compatible life forms. Alex could feel the technology scanning them, analyzing their biological signatures, preparing to merge them temporarily into a single quantum entity. "This might feel strange," Isabel warned. Her hands intertwining with his, the sensation was indescribable. Alex felt his consciousness expanding, merging with Isabel's in ways that made their earlier kiss seem like a mere introduction. He could feel her thoughts, her emotions, her memories flowing into his mind. While his own experiences streamed into hers, he saw her childhood on Zephyr Prime. The beauty of purple-skied worlds and cities that grew like living things. He felt her pain when her family died, her determination to save both species, her growing love for a human soldier who was supposed to kill her in return. She experienced his memories, the loneliness of military life, the gradual erosion of his humanity through years of following orders, the moment he first saw her and felt his world begin to change. "Now," Isabel whispered, though her voice seemed to come from inside his own thoughts. The transport activated, reality blurring around them as they phase-shifted through space for a moment that felt like eternity. Alex and Isabel existed as pure energy, two souls perfectly synchronized, traveling through dimensions that human science had never imagined. They materialized aboard Admiral Cooper's ship just as Research Station Omega exploded behind them. The blast lit up the void like a new star, taking with it any evidence of Dr. Chen's work, except for the cure samples they carried and the knowledge now shared between their merged consciousness. Alex. "Dr. Chen!" Admiral Cooper rushed toward them as they collapsed, the strain of the transport leaving them temporarily weakened. "The cure," Isabel gasped, pressing the sample case into Cooper's hands. "Project Cleansing launches in 17 hours. You have to get this to the atmospheric processors." "What about Sarah's ships?" Alex asked. Struggling to stand, Cooper smiled grimly. "Already taken care of. Seems Commander Rena didn't expect to face ships crewed by human and Zephyrian crews working together. She's learned that cooperation is more powerful than conquest." As Alex helped Isabel to her feet, he realized that something fundamental had changed. The transport hadn't just moved them through space, it had bonded them permanently. He could still feel her presence in his mind, her emotions intertwined with his own. "What happens now?" he asked. Isabel smiled, her purple skin glowing with joy and exhaustion. "Now we save two species. And then," she paused, her hand finding his, "we discover what love looks like when it's not forbidden." Revolution of the Heart Admiral Cooper's ship. The Unity raced toward Earth at maximum velocity, carrying within its hull the future of two species. Alex stood on the bridge beside Isabel, their hands clasped as they watched the blue marble of humanity's homeworld grow larger on the view screen. "The atmospheric processors are heavily guarded," Cooper reported, his weathered face grim with concentration. "Sarah's people have fortified every installation they know we're coming." "How long before Project Cleansing launches?" Isabel asked, though through their psychic bond, Alex could already feel her calculating probabilities. 14 hours. Cooper replied, "And that's assuming they stick to the schedule if they suspect we have a countermeasure." "They'll accelerate the timeline," Alex finished, his military experience providing the tactical assessment. Sarah's not one to take chances. Through the ship's communication array, reports were flooding in from across the galaxy. Zephyrian worlds were mobilizing their fleets, while human colonies were choosing sides as word of Project Cleansing spread through underground networks. The war that both governments had tried to orchestrate was happening, but not the way they'd planned. "Admiral," the communications officer called out, We're receiving a transmission from Earth Central Command. It's marked urgent and classified. The holographic image of General Mir materialized on the bridge, his cold eyes scanning the assembled crew with obvious disgust. "Cooper, you treacherous fool, surrender the alien and Captain Morrison, and I might consider a court-martial instead of summary execution." "I have a better offer," Cooper replied calmly. "Abort Project Cleansing, and I won't broadcast your genocide plans to every news network in human space." Mir's laugh was utterly without humor. "You're too late, Cooper. The project launches in 6 hours. Every major Zephyrian population center will be sterilized. And as for your precious cure, even if it works, it won't matter when there's no one left to save." The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. 6 hours, Isabel whispered, her purple skin pale with shock. "He's accelerated everything." Alex felt her despair through their bond and squeezed her hand gently. "We can still stop the atmospheric processors on Earth. If we can introduce the cure into the system here, it will neutralize any of the biological agent that reaches Earth's atmosphere." "But what about Zephyr Prime and the other worlds?" Isabel asked. Cooper activated the tactical display, showing fleet positions throughout the sector. "That's where our friends come in. Aria, Sarah's former second-in-command, has been coordinating with Zephyrian Admiral Thane. They're moving strike teams toward each target world." "Area defected?" Alex asked, surprised the woman had been Sarah's most loyal officer. "Turns out she has a conscience," Cooper replied. "When she learned about Project Cleansing, she contacted us. She's currently leading a joint human-Zephyrian task force toward the Zephyr Prime processors." The next few hours passed in a blur of preparation. Alex and Isabel worked together to adapt the cure for Earth's atmospheric system, their shared consciousness allowing them to work with unprecedented efficiency. What should have taken days of research and testing, they accomplished in hours. "It's ready," Isabel announced, holding up the modified cure sample. "One vial introduced into the primary atmospheric processor will protect the entire planet." "The processor is here," Cooper said, highlighting a facility on the Pacific coast. "But Sarah's positioned half her fleet in orbit, and the installation itself is essentially a fortress." "How do we get past the defenses?" Alex asked. Isabel smiled, an expression that made her entire face luminous. "The same way we escaped the research station together." The plan was audacious in its simplicity. Using a modified transport pod, Alex and Isabel would phase shift directly into the atmospheric processor facility, introduce the cure, and escape before Sarah's forces could respond. It required perfect timing, absolute trust, and a level of biological synchronization that pushed the limits of what either species thought possible. "Are you ready?" Alex asked as they prepared to enter the transport pod. "With you, I'm ready for anything," Isabel replied, her violet eyes bright with determination and love. The transport pod launched from the Unity during a carefully orchestrated distraction. Cooper's ship engaged Sarah's fleet while Zephyrian vessels appeared at the system's edge, drawing attention away from the small craft phasing through Earth's defensive grid inside the pod. Alex and Isabel held each other as reality blurred around them. Their consciousness merged again, two souls becoming one entity capable of existing in multiple dimensional states. Through their shared awareness, they could feel the transport technology responding to their combined will, carrying them through space and time toward their target. They materialized inside the atmospheric processor facility, alarms immediately beginning to wail as security systems detected their unauthorized presence. The installation was a marvel of human engineering, massive chambers where Earth's atmosphere was constantly filtered and renewed. There, Isabel pointed toward the primary injection port. "If we introduce the cure there, it will spread through the entire global system within hours." They ran through corridors filled with surprised technicians, Alex's military training allowing him to navigate the facility's security, while Isabel's biological enhancements let her interface directly with the atmospheric control systems. "Stop!" Sarah's voice echoed through the facility as security forces surrounded them. The commander herself appeared, flanked by a squad of heavily armed soldiers. "Captain Morrison, step away from the alien terrorist. Her name is Isabel," Alex replied calmly, positioning himself between Sarah and the woman he loved, "and she's trying to save both our species. She's trying to contaminate our atmosphere with alien DNA," Sarah snarled. "Guards, eliminate the target." Time seemed to slow as the soldiers raised their weapons. Alex felt Isabel's hand in his, felt her love flowing through their psychic bond, and made his choice. Instead of drawing his sidearm, he pulled Isabel close and kissed her. The kiss was more than romantic. It was an act of defiance, a declaration that love could transcend the barriers of species, politics, and war around them. The soldiers hesitated, perhaps recognizing something beautiful in the midst of all the ugliness. In that moment of hesitation, Isabel broke free and dove toward the injection port. The cure sample shattered against the intake valve. Its contents immediately swept into the global atmospheric system. "No!" Sarah screamed. Firing her weapon, Alex threw himself in front of the blast. The energy beam catching him in the chest, he fell, his vision dimming, but through his bond with Isabel, he could feel the cure beginning to spread through Earth's atmosphere. "Alex!" Isabel knelt beside him, her hands glowing with bioluminescent energy as she tried to heal his wounds. Did we do it?" Alex gasped. "Yes," Isabel whispered, tears streaming down her purple cheeks. "The cure is spreading. Project Cleansing can't touch Earth now." Through the facility's communication system, reports were coming in from across the galaxy. Area's task forces had successfully delivered the cure to Zephyr Prime and 12 other worlds. The biological weapon that would have killed billions was now powerless. "It's over." Cooper's voice crackled through their communicators. "Both species are safe." Sarah stood over them, her weapon trained on Isabel. "You've doomed us all," she hissed. "Humans were meant to rule the galaxy, not share it with aliens." "Humans were meant to explore, to learn, to grow," Alex said, somehow finding the strength to stand, "and we do that better when we're not alone." The sound of weapons powering down filled the chamber as Sarah's own soldiers lowered their arms around the facility. Technicians and security personnel were removing their helmets, choosing peace over the war their leaders had tried to force upon them 6 months later. Alex stood on the observation deck of the new interspecies research station, watching as human and Zephyrian scientists worked together in laboratories that had once seemed impossible. The cure had done more than prevent genocide. It had created biological compatibility between the species, allowing for unprecedented cooperation. "Regrets?" Isabel asked, joining him at the viewport. Her purple skin had taken on new patterns since their bonding. Swirls of silver that seemed to echo the gray in Alex's eyes. "Only that we waited so long to try this," Alex replied, pulling her close. "A galaxy at peace is more beautiful than I ever imagined." Below them, the first generation of human Zephyrian children played in gardens that bloomed with flowers from both worlds. Living proof that love could indeed bridge any divide, their laughter echoed through the station like music, a symphony of hope that would reshape the future of two species forever. Alex kissed Isabel again. Their love now free to flourish in a universe where differences were celebrated rather than feared. They had chosen love over duty, hope over hatred, and in doing so, had saved not just themselves but entire civilizations. The assassin's heart had become the foundation of a new age of peace.